We are going to build an alternative to that of the labels in HTML today. So if you have a website that have nothing like a label and it has something like a placeholder in a website, when users visit your website, they would actually understand what the heck that you want them to actually do on boxes that you kind of display on the website. They wouldn't know where to like put maybe a first name, last name, or an email. All right, so we want to like, if we don't want to use something like a label, we can use an alternative, and that's just a placeholder. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. All right, so if you want to use a combination of the both, that's actually completely okay if you want to do that. But if you don't want to actually use the two of them, maybe you want to use something like label, that's fine. And then you can also alternatively use something like placeholder. All right, if you don't want to use something like label. So I want to show you how to create that in this video. So let's dive right in and then see how that is actually done. So if you got a form that basically looks like this, if you take a look at this right here, you see that this field, input fields that we do have right here, does not actually have any label and it doesn't have any placeholders. All right, so people are going to actually be struggling knowing what to put in the first field and then knowing what to put in the second field and then the third field in there. All right, so if you do have it in such a way that you have labels around it, that's fine. And we've actually, I want to show you the HTML form that generated that. I mean, the code. This is the code right here. So what I want to do right now is to bring in the what is it called, the labels right here. So I just brought in the labels in here, brought in the labels in here, and this is the final label. So I want to save the changes in here. All right, so if we refresh in here, we're going to see that we do have that back right here. So this is the labels that produce this is the labels basically, like telling the user what to put in here and then telling the user what to put in here. All right, but there can be some situation where you may not want to put those labels right here. So for that reason, I want to take these away. All right, so I've taken that away. If I save the changes and then go back, you see that it returns to the what I initially presented to you guys. So we can use an alternative right here, and that is actually called the placeholders. So within this input fields that we have in here, if you want to use something like called a placeholder attribute right here, if you just do placeholder, you can go ahead and then tell them to like do something like enter first name, and I want to copy this because what I'm going to do to the rest of the fields in here is actually going to be familiar. So I want to copy and paste that, and this one is actually going to be the last name. So I'm going to just change this to last, and the last thing that we got right here is actually an email. So I'm going to just do enter your let's say something like your email. All right, so if we save the changes right here and then go back to the browser, now we'll refresh right here, you do see that we now have some text inside of those boxes saying the first one is actually enter your first name, and then the second one is last name, and then this is your email right here. All right, so if you don't want to use labels, you can use also actually you can also use placeholders in place of that of the labels that we just deleted right here. Okay, so and if you're curious about if you type right here, if you just position your cursor here and you start typing, let's say that your name is Bekino, you want to type it there, you see that when you start typing, what you already now having there as placeholder is actually going to disappear, and then you'll be left with whatever that you type. All right, so the same thing applies to any field that we got right here. Okay, so this is just a way to maybe like make it easier for the users of your web application to like know what they really need to put in the particular field, all right, if they're actually filling out the forms on your website. And I hope that this is really very simple. Look at what I just did right here. Placeholder, it's an attribute. You can type whatever you want to type in there. So this one for the last name, and then the last one in here is just for the email. And this is really very simple, right? So I hope that you guys kind of understand this, and I think I'll see you guys in the next one. If you have any question, don't forget to just go ahead and drop the question in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye for now, guys.